This is for Heather Driver's informative speech.
Hello, my name is Heather Driver, and today I am going to talk to you about how to stay out of debt. I noticed a lot of my classmates are just starting out in their adult lives, so I wanted to come up with a subject that would be useful for you as you go on into your lives in the future. A big issue that a lot of people end up having is personal debt. And when I'm speaking about this, I'm excluding mortgages. In fact, Northwestern Mutual's 2019 study found that U.S. adults hold an average of $29,800 in personal debt exclusive of mortgages. This comes from the Public Record publication from 2019. And if you have no savings, then when you have emergencies or other large purchase necessities that come up, you often use a credit card. I am a credible source to share information on this to you because I have made a number of my own past financial mistakes, and I'm now in my 30s, and I've learned from a lot of those mistakes, and I am working on fixing some of them still now. My central idea that I will share with you is to learn from my financial mistakes, and I also want to give you tips to be able to live debt-free or reduce your debt if you already have some. My first main point is that my past financial mistakes have increased debt over time. My first support to this is that the worst type of debt is the same-day loan. They usually have a very high interest rate. The type I will speak about is the payday loan type. I once got this type of loan to help pay some bills, and then when the next payday came around, I went to pay off my loan. And then I found I had to get another loan because I wouldn't be able to pay my bills for that week if I didn't get another one, so I ended up wasting hundreds of dollars in interest. My second support to share about my past mistakes is that living beyond your means increases your debt. It's okay if Christmas is small. There was one year when our first child was really little and we didn't have much money for Christmas, and I thought, well, I'll get a credit card, put a little on it, we'll have a nice Christmas, I'll build credit. That really wasn't a good decision. I still have that credit card today with a lot more debt on it than when I started that year. Also, it's good to make sure that you have an affordable car. Sometimes if you have a sudden change in income that's pretty great, that makes it really hard to afford that car, and you might run up more debt because of that. My third support about my past financial mistakes is that emergencies with no fund increases your debt. For example, back to cars, if you need a car repair, often they're several $100s, and if you don't have that laying around, you're going to put it on credit. So now that I've discussed my past mistakes, I would like to now move on to my second main point, which is to give you some tips on how to stay out of debt or to reduce debt if you already have it. My first tip is to create a simple budget. This would include items like your rent, utilities, bills, food, and entertainment. Remember, there is no point in making a budget if you go over your budget every month. Then you're just tracking how much you spend. So make a point to not overspend on your budget. My second tip to keep debt away is to not use any credit cards. A lot of people do like to try to get a credit card to build a little bit of credit. There are some other ways you can do this, but if you really feel like you want to use a credit card, at least pay it off right away or before any interest is charged, which usually happens in the first 30 days. And my third tip is how to reduce debt if you already have it. This is called the debt snowball method. I first learned about this method from Dave Ramsey's book, Financial Peace Revisited, the 2003 version. The way this works is, first off, you list all of your debts in order. You put your smallest at top and the largest on the bottom. If you want to add any extra money to pay it off even quicker, then you will end up putting it with your first payment, which is your smallest one. So here I've got the minimum payment's $50 and I'm going to add another 50. So I'm paying $100 every month. Once I get that paid off, I'm going to take that extra 100 and I'm going to add it to my minimum payment. In this example, it's $250. So I'll pay this one even faster off at that point. Then when I have only one left, I'm going to add that $350 extra dollars from here to what I have in my example, which is $150, and I'm going to pay it off very quickly. So now that I've explained some tips on how to stay debt-free or reduce debt if you've already had some, I would like to review a few of those points. The central idea was to learn from my financial mistakes and to also give you some tips on how to live debt-free and reduce debt. The main points I shared with you were that my past financial mistakes increased my debt over time, such as same-day loans, living beyond my means, and not having an emergency fund. And I also shared tips to avoid mistakes or reduce debt, such as having a budget, not using credit cards, and using the debt snowball method to reduce debt. I hope that sharing my experiences with you all today has given you some useful information that you can take and use to better your life in the future and be able to keep debt away or deal with it if you do get it. Thank you.